Hey Design 5, this is Miss Stab, and I am making a video in response to looking at your procedural list that you just turned in. And you might be getting an email that said yours was incomplete, or you needed to work on it for a larger amount of time, or please look at the exemplar. So I just wanted to go over exactly what your procedural list should look like here. I have the lesson plan, and remember, with each step, make sure you understand how much time you should sink into it, okay? If it takes you 10 minutes to do a step, you probably have missed something important. So go back and look through and make sure that you understand exactly what I'm looking for. And if you don't, drop me an email and I'll make a video like this, or I'll respond to you directly. Okay, so an hour and 40 minutes should be spent just on this procedural list. Remember the paper airplane project? Remember how we went back and made sure that we were so specific that another person would be able to recreate your paper airplane exactly? And when we weren't precise enough, that paper airplane did not turn out correctly. Right now, you're building a template that somebody else would be able to use to almost exactly replicate your podcast. And below, this might have been a little misleading for some of you, I have the things that should be included in your procedural list. So these could be headings. That doesn't mean step one is podcast script creation. That means step one is you go into a lot of detail and tell me exactly how you have set up your script creation so somebody else would be able to replicate that. So I did include your paper airplane procedural list and how detailed these procedurals should be for any kind of product that you create. For instance, step one, start with a square piece of 8" by 8" copy paper. Fold one corner to the opposite corner and make a fold crease. And open your paper to flat again. You should have a 12" fold line from one corner to the opposite. So that's pretty specific. It's a little more difficult when we're doing a podcast, but you should include such important elements like not just where you find the music, but exactly what music to use, where to take that from, how many seconds of the music that you should be using. So let's go back and look again at the directions. Do not include words like should or choose a topic. Remember, you are creating a template. Somebody should be able to look at your guide and create almost exactly your podcast. Think of it as if you have to let go of this podcast and somebody else is going to recreate it. They want that same introduction you used, the same amount of music. They want it set up, outline the framework in exactly the same way. So this is their guide. All right, does that sound familiar? It should. We did this with our escape rooms. Okay, I have borrowed somebody's procedural list or a portion of it that they've done, and they have done just an excellent job of it. And I'd like you to look at that now. So here's our detailed and ordered procedural list. You can see that this is taken from a Gantt chart. And at the top, they've used that heading I suggested, your podcast script creation. Below that, they have outlined exactly how to do the script creation. This is outstanding. Since this podcast will be a hybrid podcast, I already understand the style now, and I've got an idea of how I will have to recreate this using the same style. And this style is question and answer and a panel discussion. It'll be partially free-flowing and scripted. That's great. The points I'll include in this podcast, and then they go on to list all of these points. How I get into thrifting, tips on thrifting, thrifting finds, how to find them, which thrift stores are the best to shop at, thrift store reviews, and so on. I'm also into thrifting, so I really like this. The scripted portions of the podcast will be interview questions, and the intro and outro will be of the podcast. And then they go on, and I know I've removed some of it here, but they tell you exactly what to say in the intro, exactly what music to use, and so on and so forth. And this is how your podcast script creation, how you would replicate it, and how it should look. That's an excellent step one to the procedural list. All right, I hope this makes sense. If you were having trouble understanding what it is I'm looking for, please go ahead and look at this. You might have to watch it a few times. Go back to the original instructions if you need to, the original exemplar, or email me and let me know what it is you don't understand, and we will get it solved so that you can go forth and create that great procedural list. Thanks, guys.